皆様こんにちは。日頃よりインド投資マンスリーをご視聴いただきありがとうございます。今月は当社グループのポートフォリオマネージャーが独自の視点からインドを取り巻く環境と注目セクターについて解説いたします。それでは早速ご覧ください。
Hello, my name is Anand Gupta. I am Portfolio Manager for India Equity Assets with East Spring Investments for last 12 years. I have overall 20 plus years experience in managing India equity assets. Before discussing the short-term impact on the India market, we would like to review together India's position in world affairs from a longer-term perspective. India maintains a balanced foreign policy with the rest of the world based on its own non-aligned policy with no specific allies. Due to its potential for economic growth, countries around the world wish to have friendly relations with India. We believe that India is a country that does not belong to either of the two camps and can be a third pole that can compete with the US and China in a world situation that is shaken by the struggle for hegemony between the US and China. However, we remain wary of heightened geopolitical risk in the shorter term. Geopolitics has many dimensions, and we will be talking on two key issues. First, the strained US-China relationships has created the desires of global corporations to diversify the supplier base beyond China, and there is increased attraction of economies that have less reliance on exports. India exports represent less than 20% of GDP. Thus, the risk of global slowdown is likely to be lower than Asian peers. The Indian government is trying to capitalize on favorable geopolitical tailwinds. We are seeing multiple global corporations pursuing China plus one strategy and strong eagerness to diversify their suppliers beyond China. Manufactured exports are likely to emerge as an additional growth engine for India. Research has shown that India's manufactured exports have the potential to grow 5 times to 2.4% of GDP from the current 0.5% of GDP over the next 5 years. Furthermore, the Indian government has come out with production-linked incentives. This scheme encourages domestic manufacturing in India and is expected to help improve the trade balance of India. Due to this initiative, significant investments over 25 billion USD are now at different stages of capitalization across 13 sectors of Indian economy. Component ecosystem for electronics and automotive is expected to get much wider over the next 5 years too. We are very excited about this space. India has a sizable skilled manpower with a very large domestic market. Now, with enabling policy support, we think India's share in global exports is bound to increase. Exports in electronic and especially chemicals have started to grow at twice the historical growth rate. Secondly, the Russia-Ukraine war has caused shortage of resources, resulting in increased inflation. However, we think inflation in India so far is manageable. India has taken multiple supply reforms over the last 5 years. Some examples include increasing public infrastructure capex, corporate tax reduction, fiscal incentives for domestic manufacturing under the production incentive scheme, implementation of GST, and deregulation of few sectors. These structural reforms have improved the medium-term outlook for the Indian economy, making it more resilient to exogenous shocks. There has been a material increase in adoption of digital channels across wide sectors of economy. This has created tailwinds for productivity gains and lowered the risk of inflation. India is still experiencing some deflationary impact in distribution of goods and services due to this digitization, which should help offset higher commodity pressures. India has a strong domestic cycle recovery underway. Economic indicators across consumption, investment, and exports all show a broad-based recovery. India is net exporter of food and agriculture products. Thus, the increase in global soft commodity prices poses a lower risk in terms of impacting India negatively. However, India is mostly impacted by rising energy prices. While the increase in global hard commodity prices have created headwinds, the strong macro stability with robust forex reserves and dynamic policy interventions has created the ability to withstand these commodity headwinds. Our investment process involves bottom-up stock picking in sectors that are aligned to macroeconomic conditions. COVID and geopolitics has created tailwinds in communication, consumer discretionary, industrial and real estate sector. We will talk about some sector examples that offer attractive risk reward. In the consumer discretionary and industrial sector, the electronic manufacturing services and electric vehicle supply chain are emerging as high growth areas as global corporations diversify their supply chain beyond China and government incentivizes local manufacturing via production-linked incentive schemes. Stocks in this sector are winning market share against competitors outside India. In the communication services sector, we are seeing multiplexes are gaining market share from single-screen theaters and cater to a more affluent segment of society that is less inflation sensitive. Wealthier consumers are upgrading their local entertainment experience. Content pipeline for the next 2 years is double that of a normal year due to COVID-related shutdowns over the past 2 years. Multiplex stocks are also reporting operating margins higher than pre-COVID levels. This is evidence of revenge consumption happening in India. We also think that the Indian real estate has come out of a down cycle after 14 years. COVID-related work has led to increase in residential home purchase. All indicators such as affordability ratio, vacancy rates, inventory point toward continued strength in the sector. A bottom-up engagement validates pricing power within the sector even in an ongoing inflationary environment. Stocks in this sector have reported improvement in financial metrics versus other sectors. Thank you for your time today. We are as excited as ever about the opportunities for India. We will continue to update you with the information and opportunities to India equity and hope it will help you in your investment endeavors.
インド投資マンスリー6月号は以上となります。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。次回もぜひご視聴いただければと思います。